discussion for some time. So if so, why would Gates write it? Joining us now is Congressman Pete Hoekstra, Republican of Michigan, who is the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, welcome on Fox News this Sunday morning. Good to see you.
Hey, thank you. Good morning.
What do you think about this Robert Gates memo? Astonishing that one of the highest-ranking members of the administration would claim that they don't have a long-range strategy.
Well, it may be astonishing that it came out of the administration, but for those of us that have been watching this administration, it's not astonishing at all. You know, the president came into office, said he was going to be involved with engagement with Iran. Clearly, that has not worked in the first 12 to 14 months of this administration. If you listen to administration officials, they have been all over the map as to whether there were going to be firm deadlines or whether firm deadlines would work or not. Maybe to everybody except the president, it has been very, very clear that there has not been a very effective strategy in dealing with Iran.
Well, what should their strategy then be?
Well, I think the president, clearly this is where the president needs to demonstrate leadership. He has to recognize and admit that the strategy that was in place has been flawed. It did not work, that we need to become much firmer with Iran, that we need to consider imposing sanctions on Iran, perhaps unilaterally, and that we need to put pressure on Russia and China that they need to join us. Otherwise, we will have a nuclear Iran.
Yeah, but,
I think part of the reason that Secretary Gates is...
Go ahead. You know, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you know that's not going to happen. We talk about it here every Sunday. That they're not.
We talk about it every Sunday, and the reason it's not going to happen now is that the president, came into office and sent very, very mixed messages. But the only way that there is any possibility of getting Russia or China on board is that if the president now does send a very, very clear and powerful message. I don't think he'll do it. I think he's going to continue muddling along through this process. He will not show the leadership that is needed to confront this problem. I think Secretary Gates wrote this memo because he recognizes that it's very, very possible that on this president's watch and on his watch as Secretary of Defense, Iran will become a nuclear power, and it will be because this president and this administration did not have a strategy to confront it and contain Iran.
Well, what do we do then? If Iran does become a nuclear power, they think within a year or 2 years perhaps, and we're faced with this, what do we do?
Well, I think, again, the reason the memo maybe was written is we don't know, when you start saying it could be, 12 months before they have enough fissile material to make this happen, 3 to 5 years before they have a weapon. The bottom line is when you start talking in such short time frames, the margin of error says we could be wrong, and if we're wrong on the short side, it could be 6 months, it could be a year and a half. Who knows when they could have a nuclear test. It will fundamentally change the dynamics of the Middle East. It will fundamentally allow the Middle East to spin out of control. And, this administration has not confronted it. We will have a whole new set of problems if this happens.
Well, again, the White House says it is working on a strategy, but this is a fascinating inside view.
Well, when the Secretary of Defense says he hasn't seen it, they need to start communicating and getting on the same page.
All right. Congressman Pete Hoekstra of Michigan, who is the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Always good to have you on Sunday. Thank you, sir.
Hey, good. Thank you.